It's here. The new collaboration between Hideo Kojima and J F Rey could well be the coolest glasses series of 2024. And today, every single pair in every single color is going to be showcased just for you. So hi, I'm Robert, Style and Vision Consultant here at the Spectacle Factory, and it's my job to pair you with your perfect pair of glasses. And for me, every single model from this new series is extremely cool, and I'm going to be taking you through every single detail that makes them special. Now, if you've not already seen it, I did a full review of these glasses with the attachable flip-up visor, so make sure to check that out. And I also covered the initial collection from Hideo Kojima and J F Rey, which was released back in 2022 with the 01, the 02, and the 03, plus the extra special Ludens mask. But today, we're going to be taking a look at the new models. So let's get into it. It was an easy guess for me which model was the 04, by which I mean which was the first one from the new series. Because for me, this encapsulates absolutely everything about both J F Rey and Kojima. The 04 has so many design elements that I'm just not quite sure where to start. But let's talk about, first of all, the hinge, because the hinge on this frame is actually a callback to a design in J F Rey's back catalogue. They have released this style of hinge before, which to my eye is kind of resembling a human spine. The way that it flexes without the use of a spring makes these frames very, very durable. The second thing you notice on this model especially is the coloration, which is a very unique acetate, very typical of J F Rey. They produce probably the best frame colors in the world, and what a great example of it. Then you notice the playful Hideo Kojima, which is actually etched into the front of the frame. It's a mixture of materials. It's not just acetate, it's metal and acetate together, and that is not just on the temple in the hinge, but also on the front. And it's that metal element that has the Kojima logo engraved into it. Now, I actually spoke to Olivier, who's the head designer for J F Rey, and he told me how he conceived the new collection. And one of the things that I thought was really cool is he wanted to draw on the irony that in Kojima's games, his name is featured quite a lot, and it's kind of become a meme that that is the case. With Kojima's games, you can't miss the fact that it's designed by him, and all credit to him because he puts so much passion and so much time into every project. But that is reflected in his name being etched into these frames, and I think it's a really cool reference to Kojima himself. Now, this next colorway is a bit more simplistic in black and white, but in typical Kojima fashion, is still pretty interesting. This is very reminiscent of the Death Stranding colors, by the way. This one's a bit more simplistic, like I said, a bit more neutral. And then the third colorway, because there are 3 colorways of each model, is a more classic tortoise shell, a bit more casual than the black, and this time featuring a new gaming lens. So every single model, apart from the flip-up visor models, is available with this yellow lens. Yellow is the best color for blocking blue light, which is emitted in high frequencies by LED and LCD displays. So very good for computer use and gaming. We also have a squarer version. Again, we see the Hideo Kojima name engraved into the front. Again, we've got that really cool temple design. But this one is just much more oversized, much more boxy, and just overall a completely different shape. So you've got a couple of options. If you like that whole design, but you're not into round glasses, then you can go with the square one. For me, personally, I think the round one is cooler. The 3 colors of this one, apart from the one I've just showed you, are a really nice blue, actually a very vivid blue. I told you J F Rey are known for their colors, and this is another great example. This one is very vibrant, and a kind of gray and black camo, which is very reminiscent of Solid Snake's sneaking suit. If you get the reference, I think you'll really appreciate that. And this is how that looks on the face. Quite a sleek look. Now, the 06 is a much more understated style, and in this case, there's a really interesting texture to the frame, and that's achieved with the use of carbon fiber along the top rim. So the top section of this frame is pure carbon fiber. Not just that, but we see a matte finishing in almost a kind of wood grain effect. Now, the side is made from acetate, it's not made from wood, but it does resemble wood in both look and feel, which is a really nice contrast against the carbon fiber. And another hearkening to J F Rey's past, because they're arguably most famous for their carbon wood series, where they combined wood and carbon fiber together. I said in my initial review, they've really distilled and encapsulated Kojima's own sense of art direction in his video games, because he very much combines retro with futurism. And these glasses, the whole collection, combines those two things just as well. And the mixture of carbon fiber and acetate is a great example of that. And arguably even better in the contrasting color, because this time we have the carbon fiber still along the top, but more of a chestnut tortoise shell. And the contrast, the duality between those two works really, really well in this instance. I love this frame. It's definitely a frame that I would wear myself. Finally, the version that has the gaming lens is the most interesting. This is another military-inspired colorway where we see a more typical green and brown camo, very reminiscent of Naked Snake in Metal Gear Solid 3, for those who know. And of course, this has the gaming lens, but you can have it made with a clear lens as well. That's probably what I would do, or at least a custom tint other than yellow. That one I predict is going to be a fan favorite, just like Metal Gear Solid 3 is. And there is another shape within the series, but the differences are a lot more subtle. The 07 is, again, slightly squarer, but it's pretty close. I'm not sure there was a need for both of these shapes within the collection. They're so similar to each other. Now, the 07 does fit a little bit wider, as I will demonstrate to you now. It's that touch more rectangular, whereas the 06 is that little bit rounder, but it's a very subtle difference, and I don't think you can go wrong with either model. Having said that, I think you should probably decide based on the color that you like, because again, the three colors are completely different. This one is almost like a snow camo. It's got hints of white and gray in it, and you can definitely see how the Metal Gear Solid series has fed its way into this collection. Don't think I've seen this acetate color before, and here's how it looks on. There's also another blue colorway, but this time it's a blue marbled acetate, and here's how that looks. I have to say that these two frames are the most comfortable. I'm not sure if it's to do with the lightweight aspects of the carbon fiber, or the softness of the acetate, or maybe just the proportions are perfect for my face, but these feel really nice to wear. Finally, the gaming version is done in a really awesome matte black with carbon fiber. This is super stealthy, and I love it. I think that's the best frame to match with the gaming lens, actually, because I think black and the yellow really work together. It's got that tactical look. Then we move on to the 08. And with the 08, we start to see this flip-up visor, which has already been super controversial. Everyone that I talk to about this either loves it or hates it. And more people hate it than love it, but isn't that always the case with cool things? If you're wearing this, I don't think you really care what the average person thinks, because those who are really into their eyewear or into their fashion will know that flip-up visors are cool. Now, you have to be kind of prepared to embrace your inner geek when you wear this, but again, people who are cool are okay with that. And I think the contrast between the attachable visor and the frame here works really well. It gives the frames such an interesting vibe that you just wouldn't see normally. So Olivier has been very brave in designing these pieces in particular. Now, the attachable sun clip is also removable, of course, and beneath that we see a double layer frame, but this time it's metal on the top, specifically aluminium, and acetate along the bottom. Now, aluminium is a favorite of mine in terms of frame materials. You just get a texture from it that you can't capture with anything else. So when you're ready to slide this back on, you just do it from the side, like so. And the sun clip that they come with is polarized. That's the case for all of these flip-up visors. It is really satisfying, let me tell you, to snap that up and down. I think I played with it a bit too much when I got my pair because it's kind of addictive. Now, the best colorway of this frame, easily, is the green. I just think that looks so cool. It's like a khaki green with then this slightly acidic green on the side. Really amazing colorway. I have to say, Olivier has done a tremendous job with every single color. There's not a single colorway in this whole series of frames which is boring. And that's hard to do. You know, most frame brands, they might bring out one interesting color, but then they'll also have just black and tortoise shell, and it's just simple and safe. They didn't go safe with this collection, and Kojima never goes safe with his games, so I think that is true to his principles as well. So this is how the green looks, and like I said, this is the colorway that I think you should get. But there is also a tortoise shell, and I know I just referred to tortoise shell as boring. I didn't mean these frames because this obviously has the aluminium along the top, and then it has the contrasting sun clip as well. So all those elements really stop these from being boring, even though the color is a bit more conventional. And there's the flip-up visor, this time with a brown lens to match the brown frame. In terms of creativity, this is as good as it gets. You don't get glasses that are more unusual and unique than this collection. And regardless of who designed it, although I love J F Rey and Kojima, being completely objective about it, These frames are extremely cool, stylish and different, and I appreciate every single detail about them. And then we get to the last model, which is the one that I've already reviewed, so I won't dwell too much on this one. You should check out my full review of this specific model. The 09 is as cool as everything else in this series. Now there's also a navy blue patterned colorway. So again, with the flip up visor, this is the glasses equivalent of a fidget spinner, and it is cool, it is addictive, and I can't get enough of it. That's the blue, love that. And this is the only time I've seen the colorway repeated. This has that wood grain effect in black acetate, with again the aluminium along the top. So that is the same as this colorway was in the 06. But of course this time, and I'm not gonna get bored of this, they still have the flip up visor. Don't judge until you've tried it. Finally, the icing on the cake, and perhaps the centerpiece of the collection, maybe I've saved the best to last, definitely going to be the most divisive here, is the 10. I'm going to start off by looking at the green colorway that comes as a sunglass. This frame is mega. I mean, so much presence. What can you say about it? It might not be everybody's taste, it's not personally my taste, but it's, well, how would you even describe it? We've got the acetate in the center, but then we've got aluminium at the edge. Then we have an aluminium logo, which is engraved with the Kojima Productions mascot. We've then got that green acetate continuing on the side. We also see, and this is very reminiscent of the McLaren Ultimate series, we see negative space used between the lens and the frame at the corners, just to give them even more of a dimension. Now you can get this as an optical version with clear lenses and another blue acetate. And this model again, by the way, features metal pads. I think that's the case for every single frame here. If it's got nose pads, they are metal. Nice touch. Makes them look and feel a lot more premium. And then of course, there had to be a gaming version. This is the one that I would consider wearing of the three. I think as gaming glasses, where you want to be over the top because you're in that zone, you're living out a fantasy, playing something like Death Stranding where you're just transported to a different world. In that setting, it makes sense to wear something like this. And I think that's a perfect summary of the J F Rey and Kojima collaboration. It is out of this world. It is extraordinary. It is unique. It's styles, colors, shapes, material combinations that have never been done ever before. That is not easy to do in eyewear. And I commend both J F Rey and Kojima, two of the most creative identities in the world, in my opinion, coming together to create an incredible glasses collection. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to give us a like and subscribe for more of the best eyewear content on the internet. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye-bye.